Outdoors here.
Let's get into
Brought
it.
to you by our friends at Gutter Works.
It's going to be a wild season if everybody stays healthy.
It's going to be a wild season. Okay, so you wanted me to run down my top 5 450
Yes.
Outdoors.
And this isn't top 5 in points. We're just assuming everybody stays healthy. Who you think will be consistently in the top 5?
Well, 1 through 4 is really easy,
I
and
think so, too.
5 I have a group.
I have 3.
I have a group.
Okay, so let's go. I already know who your 4 is going to be because it's going to be the same as mine.
Okay, run your 4. Let's see.
Jett, Eli, Chase, Prado.
Nope.
Oh, all right. Who's your 4?
Jett,
Okay.
top of the pyramid, top of the spear.
I didn't ask you to do all
Top
that.
of the spear.
I didn't need
Tip of the spear.
You didn't need to do all that.
Jett, tip of the spear.
You didn't need to do all that. Not if he keeps hanging out at the Met Gala.
Jett, tip of the spear. Chase.
You think Chase is going to be beating Eli that consistently, huh?
I don't know. Chase and Eli could be interchangeable. I got Eli 3rd.
All right.
I want to see what Eli comes back like. I think he'll be okay, but I'm just saying.
Okay. All right.
Cole just texted us, say he's at a family gathering.
Okay. No problem.
I'm going to text him back, tell him I don't fucking care. Answer your phone. That's for tomorrow.
Giggity.
I call, you answer. Jesus. It's like fucking mafia here.
Yeah.
I call, you answer. I don't give a fuck if you're in bed with Jennifer Lopez. Get the fuck up.
I wouldn't want to be in bed with Jennifer Lopez.
We're not going to go there. Not going to go there.
Yeah, we're not. So, all right. So, Jett, Chase, and Eli. Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Who's your 4th?
J. Coop.
God, you and Cole really on the J. Coop beating
Bro,
Prado
he's
thing.
good starts. He's good outdoors.
He's one. All right. Go ahead. Nope. Just go ahead. All right.
My group.
Okay.
Prado, AP Hunter.
Okay. All right.
Swap them all out.
All right.
5th place.
Okay.
I think Prado is going to be more times than not 4 to 8.
I just can't see him with it. I won't, and we've already been over this. I'm not going to disagree with that. I don't have him winning the title. I don't do that. I have him getting wins and being on the box. But I just think the reason why I don't believe, even if he's struggling through bike setup, that he is going to be outside the top 5 more often than not is because he's a better starter than all of those dudes. So, like, his cardio has never been an issue, not in the last couple of years. Like, it was an issue when he first jumped up to the 450, but he was still really young. He had to put on a lot of weight, so cardio is not going to be an issue. I don't see those dudes starting with him, but I don't think he's going to win the title the first year either. So I won't dispute that. I don't.
Big shoulder surgery.
Yep.
Big shoulder surgery.
I mean, Jett's coming
no
off big
testing.
knee.
No testing time.
Yeah. Well, he's been riding for a few weeks now.
No testing time.
He's going to Florida.
New bike.
He's going to Florida.
New bike.
I think that'll be fine. I think the program, the 1 day program scares me more than anything else than the bike. The 1 day program
that doesn't scare me as much as the bike. The shoulder with no testing time and the whatever and the bike that combo scares me more than him than the whatever thing, the 1 day program.
Yeah, so
they did 1 day program there after COVID in GPs.
Yeah, but that's the year he struggled though.
All right, well, that's fair.
I mean, either way, I don't believe he's going to be winning all the time, but I think that it's going to be. I think that he's firmly in that top 4 just because of his starts. But okay, all right, yeah. So I'm just basically flipped from you. I think that Jett, Eli, Chase, and Prado, and I think it's going to be J. Coop, Hunter, and AP in that 5th spot. The problem is I think the 5th spot is actually going to be gnarlier battles because I don't really know who to pick out of those 3. I mean, J. Coop, it'd be leaning towards J. Coop at this point.
Yeah.
But, I mean, you got to think. Hunter got 2nd in the points last year. And AP, I mean, dude, he led motos last year. So it's like, who out of those 3 can you lean on more? And honestly, man, I think that we might see more dogfights for 5th this year than anything else.
Cole said Prado's going to get waxed. Tell Justin to put the GP dildo away.
I just don't see it, man. I just don't see it. I don't think he gets waxed. I think if he comes out and does really well at Paula, I think that's a good indication of how well his season goes. If he goes out and he struggles really, really bad at Paula, I think then it might take a little bit. But dude, if he comes out right off the rip and he gets on the box at Paula, I think that's how his whole season goes.
I don't know, man. He just hasn't had that much time on the bike.
But he already looks really good.
It's okay.
You got to look at it from the way when you watch Jett ride. We've always said when we watch Jett ride, he doesn't look like he's going fast.
This is true.
Prado rides the same way as Jett. Like literally, they almost have carbon copy riding styles.
All right, man. I don't know.
I still don't believe he's going to win the title or he's going to win a bunch of races.
That's good because I'd really be yelling at you.
Next year,
really be yelling at you.
Next year is a different conversation. But this year, no, I don't believe he's going to win a bunch of races and he's gonna win the title. I don't think so. I think there's too many things going against him. But I think that he's too good of a starter to not be in the top 5 consistently. And he doesn't really crash that much anymore either.
Cole says he's going to do well at Paula because that's the only track he rides.
I think Paula is the worst track he might do at.
He said that's a big L on your part.
No, I don't believe that. I don't believe that. I don't think Paula he's going to do well.
Why? That is true. He's rode there in Paris basically.
Because Paula is still the most Supercross-esque track out of all the nationals. There's more rhythm style sections at Paula than there is anywhere else.
I guess it's still outdoors.
Yeah,
they're putting new sections in.
What all those people tell you when you go to California, you go to Paula though. It's nothing. It's not an outdoor track like the rest of them.
Well, I guess we'll see what he does there come Hangtown and Thunder Valley, and then we'll be able to make a better decision. But I don't know, man. I have a hard time seeing this, and especially with everybody. I mean, you got to think. What are the chances Chase isn't on the box every single moto?
I mean, honestly, let's be real. Outside of Jett being 100%, which we know he's not going to be, it's more likely that Chase goes out and gets the overall at Paula than anybody else. With him coming in all the momentum, actually coming in 100% healthy, it's more likely that he wins Paula as opposed to anybody else. Because I don't believe, I don't think Jett, Eli, or Prado are going to be 100%.
Yeah. I mean,
there's no way that any of those 3 are 100% by the time we come to Paula.
Yeah, I mean, I gotta see what Eli is like, because I think Eli will get there. I mean, look at what happened last year, right? He came back, and we all were like, okay, how's this gonna go? And it wasn't stupendous to start with, but by the time we got to the end of the year, we were like, ooh, okay.
Really makes me wonder though what his what his mindset's going to be going in, because if he's leaving, which definitely all signs point to, I wonder if he's going to want to go in and he's going to want to try to prove a point outdoors.
I think he has a point to prove. Otherwise, why would he even be riding at this point?
Which is another factor that he's never really had outside of just wanting to win championships, like going out like, oh, hey, now I'm leaving Star because you guys are basically kicking me out the door, and I'm going to make you regret it.
Yeah, well, I don't know. I don't know about holding those kind of emotions for him because, okay, look, man, when Star signed you, the idea was like within 2 years you were going to be done. Like retired done, not just like, oh,
he also won 2 titles for them.
Yeah,
and was on his way to a 3rd one.
I know, but the idea was not, hey, you're gonna ride for the next 6 years.
No, they thought he was gonna be retired by now.
So like we're already through year 3 here. On a lot of what we thought too, you weren't gonna go back outdoors, and then you just keep not being able to stop. Speaking of Eli here, listen to Pulp this week. Had Wes and some other dude from Verb on there. And they were talking about doing... No, that wasn't it. It wasn't Pulp. I was listening to Gypsies with Garth Milan. And Garth was talking about back in the day doing a shoot for DC when Eli rode for Geico. And they were at, I think it was Cahuilla. And he's like, yeah, so I go in and think like, oh, this is going to be great, whatever. And this is when Eli was on a Super Mini or something. He was young.
Probably like 07.
Yeah, and so him and what's his nuts, his dad are there, right? And John, and he's like, dude, it was so not easy because all they did was do their fucking motos like they were supposed to. He's like, and then it's like time to leave, and it's like, okay, with the DC ads, you need like a really good action shot and a really good lifestyle shot. He's like, so I got the action shot. He goes, then we're like trying to do the lifestyle shot, and John's like, okay, we're out of here. And he's like, and I didn't even pay attention to him. I was just like, okay. And then I'm like trying to get Eli set up and take the picture or whatever. He goes, and then I just see this look of terror on Eli's face. I turn around and John's driving the motorhome down the road leaving. Like, yep, we're done. We're out. See you later. Fuck off. Like, oh man, it's awesome. Speaking of which, I got to reach out to him, Garth Milan there. I want to see what their rates are for getting pictures and videos and stuff from the races. I'm sure it's not cheap, but yeah. I'm just curious. To be honest, I didn't even know the whole Octopi Media thing or whatever. Like, I'd heard of it roughly and probably looked at a couple of their things, but I didn't know exactly what they did. So listen to that. I was like, oh, okay, cool. But anyway, back to outdoors here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
I think it's crazy how many dudes we have that all could win, but it's still so up in the air to me because so many of those guys we're talking about are coming off injuries.
Yeah.
And like and if everybody was 100%, I think it'd be even more, I don't know. Because if you talk about everybody's 100%, say Eli's 100, Jett's at 100, Chase is at 100, Prado's at 100, and he's next, like he's not dealing with the issues that he's dealing with. He's fine with the bike. He's fine with the one-day program. He's not coming off a shoulder injury. Then I'm telling you, I don't even know more about, like, I know less.
Yeah. Well, okay, so let me ask you this. What do you think Jett's going to do?
At the first round or the entire season?
Let's just go the first half of the season. Because I think by midseason, as long as he doesn't get... By midseason, as long as none of these guys get hurt, that's when we're going to start really seeing some stuff where it's going to be like, throw the names in a hat and pick them out, and that's what you're going to get every weekend.
I mean, dude, it'd be obviously be hard to bet against that he's not going to consistently do what he always does. He's definitely not going perfect season, and he obviously didn't
I'm not saying perfect season.
Yeah, it obviously didn't go perfect season because of what happened last year. I mean, dude, it's hard to know. It's hard to know because by then you would think that Eli, we're going to have a good indication of what Eli's at. And if Eli's a 100 and he's comfortable and he's locked in, we know Eli on any given day can show up and beat anybody in the world. If Chase, we assume, might have some wins by then, so he's going to be confident, but we know he has this Jett mental block for some odd reason. Hopefully Prado has got some shit figured out so he could strike lightning or catch lightning in a bottle at any point. I mean, it's hard to believe, or it's hard not to think that Jett's going to do what Jett's going to do, but I think this right now, and I mean, granted, he's only completed 2 full seasons. This is going to be his hardest outdoor season. Okay, not outdoor season because he's only ran 1 full one. This is going to be his hardest test yet since he's been on the 450. And I know that's easy to say because he's only been on the 450 since 2020, the end of 2023. But this is going to be the toughest one yet because everything, and not only him, everybody else, everything is stacked against him at this point to go out and win a championship. People would be like, well, no, it's not because everybody else is coming off an injury. Okay, but that's why it's going to be even harder because of the fact we don't really know, like, who's going to come back better, though. Because Jett, he came back in SMX, but that injury was not a knee injury. And I know he's young and he has the access and resources to some of the best ortho people in the world. But knee injuries, it doesn't matter how fit you are. Knee injuries affect everybody differently. We don't know if that knee injury, how bad it's really going to affect him. We're going to know the first time he fucking plants that leg and he twists it. Hey, man, is it good to go? Is it not? How did it affect his physio? How did that affect his training? How in shape is he going to be? And I know that he's Jett, and we look at him like this freak, but, like, if he's coming in behind the 8 ball and you race your way into shape, but if by the time you get into shape, you're so far behind in points because you were struggling, like, that's going to put him in a situation where he's never really been in since the 250 days. Now, even then.
Now, when you say, Cole says you need some NANO XTREME for all these painful takes. Now, when you say out of shape, though, you're talking riding shape, right?
What do you mean? What do you think I meant when I said?
Well, I'm just saying because he ain't gonna be out of shape because you can strap yourself to a bicycle and bicycle the day after surgery on a knee.
Yeah, but that's not not race shape.
Okay. I just want to clarify that that's what you meant. Not like he's literally going to come off the couch or whatever.
There's a lot of people that are in physical shape. That's obvious. There's a difference between being race shape.
Yeah.
And being race shape is a lot different because even when you're doing testing during the week and doing training, that doesn't mean diddly dick until you have a gate drop.
Okay.
Like he's not going to, because it's all about the mental side of things. And I'm not saying that it's something that everybody doesn't know, but like it's easy to go out and do motos and put in 35s. How often do we say this? But the difference is when you're out there doing motos by yourself, you're not mentally putting yourself in a situation where, like, if you get loose, I'm going to back it off. It doesn't mean anything.
He's not by himself. Hunter's there.
Yeah, but it still doesn't mean anything, though, because there's no consequence for him having a bad lap when he's doing motos during the week. If he has a bad lap outdoors, your mind goes to... That's the thing that I don't think a lot of people understand about, like, when people say race shape. And I don't know if it's ever really been explained, the difference between being in race shape and physical shape. It has nothing to do with your cardiovascular side. It's about where your brain puts your body in. Like, if I'm in a rhythm section in Supercross, and let's just talk about Supercross, and say the fast line is 3-3 quad, and I got to go 3-3, and I spin up the face of what would be the 4, and I know I'm not going to get over this, and I check up, okay? In a race situation, your brain would go, fuck, dude. Like, that just blew the line. Like, is there somebody behind me? They're going to close the gap. And then we all know when your brain starts doing things, you stop controlling your breathing. And I know I'm not saying things that a lot of people don't know, but I'm explaining it for people that don't understand because we hear that thrown around. There's being in shape and there's being in race shape. It's what your brain is allowing the rest of your body to do. So it's the same thing. When you're training with Hunter during the week, you never can get yourself in a situation where you're like going to put yourself in a race situation where you're going to stress about losing a ton of time in a lap. Because if Jett's out there doing motos with Hunter and he gets loose, he knows that it doesn't mean anything. He's like, dude, I'm going to back it down. I'm going to take 2 laps off. There's no consequence for it. But he goes to outdoors. He loses a ton of time. We never know if he's like what he's thinking at that point. He's like, fuck, dude. Like, I just lost a ton of time. Eli might be out front. Chase is out. Whoever. It doesn't really matter. Whoever's out front. How do we know he stopped breathing, controlling his breathing? That's when he's tightening up. That's when he's not getting loose. He's not light on the bike. So, like, that's what I mean by he's obviously in shape. We don't know how race shape he's going to be. That's what I mean. I don't ever think that Jett's going to come in out of shape. That's not the Jett's MO. Jett's too dialed in and locked in for that. Race shape, which ultimately comes down to mentally, how well is he going to be? Because he has, what? That'll be 4 months, 5 months since he's had a gate drop? When was Glendale? Early February? Late January?
February.
So
sometime
like
in February.
So
yeah,
like
mid to early February.
Yeah, so like early 4 to 5.5 months since he had a real gate drop since his injury.
Yeah.
So like that's what I mean. I'm not worried that he's not going to figure that out. I'm just saying that like by mid-season, I think he's going to do Jett things, but I think this is going to be his toughest test yet because there's so many unknowns about what's going to happen.
Do you see him off the box though?
At Paula for like through the mid-season.
Through the mid-season. I don't see him off the box in a moto. My thing is like we doubted him. Okay, he went out with that injury last year or whatever, right?
Who doubted him?
And we all coming back for SMX, we all were like, what's going to happen?
Yeah, but I don't think
how is he going to come back?
Yeah.
He's never really been injured,
yeah.
You know, whatever. And then it's like, what's going to happen? What's going to happen? And then he comes out in North Carolina and just decimates everybody.
Well, he was 3 out of 3. He lost 3 motos and won 3 motos. So I don't say decimating. He didn't decimate. Vegas was good because obviously he won both motos.
Yeah.
But
Did he win both in North Carolina too?
No. Eli won the first moto. He won the second moto.
Oh.
And then in Texas, he didn't win a moto.
But the first moto, he was right behind Eli, right?
Yeah, but he still didn't win though.
Okay, so
he won 3
yeah,
of 3.
but we all were. Everybody collectively in the industry was kind of like, "What's gonna happen?"
Yeah.
And then, surprise, surprise, he comes back and he almost wins the first one there, and then wins the second one. So like, nothing new.
Yeah.
Witt gets the overall.
Yeah.
So I just don't. I don't know. I don't see him being off the podium the first 6 rounds. We'll call it. I don't see him not winning within the first 6 rounds, whether you want to call it
for sure.
moto or overall.
For sure. I'm not going that
Eli
far.
is the little bit more, just because we saw it take Eli so long to get going outdoors last year after that injury, after coming back. And again, I think that was just combined too, though, with having to come back from that when he tore his thing.
Yeah.
So you combine all that together, it was kind of like, ooh, oh boy. Where now it's like, okay, cool, it's just a broken leg.
Yeah.
So like, I think he'll be good.
Eli's the one,
and
dude.
Chase obviously is locked in. Then again, though, you got to go with the Chase syndrome, which is
weird.
Him chasing down Jett and not being able to get by him.
Chase needs to get a start, and he just needs to be out front doing his own thing and not have any indication of where Jett is. Because if Chase is out front and he's like riding like he did last year, and he doesn't have to pass Jett,
yeah,
I think Chase is fine. I think if Chase has no indication of where Jett is on the track and he's out front, I think anybody's going to have a hard time. Because let's be real, there was a couple times, and I won't even talk about Hangtown. I'll just go to the end of the season. There was a couple times last year that if that's Chase out front, I don't care who you are, you're having a hard time running that guy down. That's going to be real fucking hard.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, like, Eli is the one dude where I'm like, if he's locked in and he's 100%, I don't know what you're going to get, because there's races where, like, I could see Eli and Jett starting together, and if Eli rides like Eli wins.
Yeah, I can see it too.
That's
well, not only that, I could see those two putting 30 seconds on everybody.
Oh, for sure.
Including Chase.
Yeah, no, I don't disagree at all. I fully agree with you.
All right, so we're getting to the 250 LCQ here.
Could you imagine if RJ doesn't make the main?
Oh my God, that'd be
I don't want to put that juju
move.
out into the ether, but Jesus.
Before we jump too deep into this, though, right now, 2-day, 450 outdoor title pick.
Do you want me to be the respectful guy?
I just want your honest opinion of who you think is going to win the 450 outdoor title today, the final Supercross race.
All right, because I don't know where everybody else is going to get, I'm going to be the respectful guy, and I'm going to go with the defending champ because he has the least amount of question marks, and I'm going to go Chase Sexton.
All right, well.
But that's only because of the fact that I don't know where everybody else is at. If you asked me this question and I knew that everybody else is 100%, I don't pick Chase.
I'm not going to say it's a bad thing because he is healthy after all.
But I think there's a lot of people that would go, are you serious? If you were telling me that Chase Jett were 100%.
I'm not going to say are you serious? Everybody else is coming off injuries.
Yeah.
Okay. So like there's that. And then like I said, and like he has all the momentum
like he did
for
last
how well.
year.
Yeah.
If he rides like he did last year, that guy can beat everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
But if you were asking me this question where Chase and Jett were 100% and Prado wasn't coming in and this wasn't his first year, I would honestly tell you I have no idea. I wouldn't be able to answer that question.
Yeah.
I really don't. I really have no idea because I think you could flip a coin and any one of those dudes.
I think that, like I said, I think that's the way it's going to get after midseason is you're going to be able to put all of the top 10 guys' names in a hat and basically pick them all out.
Which is crazy.
For the podium every single week. So, all right, we got 250 LCQ going on here. My 450 outdoor title pick, I mean, I got to go with my guy Jett.
I mean, obviously that's a great pick too.
I was going to say there's not really an argument to it. It's like, okay, cool, whatever.
There's not really. I mean, honestly, I think this is the first time in a while. I think if you pick any one of, because I mean, there's going to be people that'll leave Prado off, which is in good reason. So like Chase, Jett, and Eli, if you pick any one of those dudes, I don't think that's a bad pick.
Yeah,
I really don't. I don't think anyone. They're all 3 outdoor champions.
Yep.
One of them was undefeated in 2023. One is rookie year. The other one had a great season last year, and I mean, fucking Eli is Eli. So, like, I don't think any one of those picks.
Eli's a 4-time champ.
Could you imagine if he wins his 5th title at age 30? How old is he now? 32?
Gotta be 32.
Oh, my God.
Maybe even 33, but I don't know. He doesn't talk to anybody except rodeo people, so I guess we got to become.
He just hangs out with his wife.
Can you imagine going to a rodeo and you just randomly run into Eli Tomac and
I'd be like,
you just hear, and up next, Jessica Tomac, and you're just like, wait, what?
What? I'd be like, yeah, man. I mean, dude. Either way, Paula is gonna be buck wild.
Yep.
Paula's going to be buck wild.
Yep. And after these LCQs, we'll talk 250 outdoors.
Which is going to be even more buck wild.
Which is going to be more crazy. Just want to thank you guys for watching this video. If you guys like this kind of content and you want to see the full show, it's linked right here. If you guys want to make sure that you never miss an update, you never miss a show, a live stream, a bike build, or anything that we're doing, make sure to hit that subscribe button there and make sure to turn on notifications with the bell. If you want to join our members area to help support the show, that's greatly appreciated too, and you can check us recording things live that other people in the general public don't get to see. Thank you guys for tuning in. We'll see y'all on the next one.